Yesterday, I Googled the word self-preservation. Self-preservation. And I came across several articles that stated these were religious articles. These are from Christian, quote-unquote, theologians and pastors and leaders, all from across all denominations. And they had the stupidity to write an article and make an argument that and I'm going to try not to get worked up, that self-preservation is a sin. Several of them were titled "The Sin of Self-Preservation." Oh my God, man. You would tell that to the victim of abuse? That trying to protect and preserve yourself is a sin? Is this what they're teaching in seminary? I'm starting to understand now why society as a whole gets away with this evil. Self-preservation is a sin. You should put your faith in God. Agreed. I agree with that. That's part of the package of protecting and preserving oneself, one's soul. That is the ultimate requirement to, yes, we place our faith in God for protection. But protecting and preserving yourself is a sin. How about that? So I thought I'd study up a little bit on the subject. I would like to do an in-depth study. Maybe I will. But I found this. in Colossians chapter 2, verse 18. Don't let anybody defraud you by insisting on self-abasement, which is the same thing as self-depreciation, self-destruction, self-cheapening. The Bible says, do not let anyone insist on self-abasement. Not self-preservation, self-abasement. I read this in 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 20. You endure it if a man assumes control of your soul and makes a slave of you and preys upon you or deceives you or strikes you in the face or abuses you. And the author of 2 Corinthians is saying this to their shame. He's saying, why are you allowing other men to abuse you? Why are you allowing other men to insist on self-abasement? And if you read 7 verses up in verse 13 of 2 Corinthians 11, the author of this epistle writes that such men are false messengers of the Bible. They're false. They're fake. People who, these heretics that claim that self-preservation is a sin, just met this qualification right here in the New Testament of being false messengers. And gee, I wonder why I have struggled my whole life with cognitive dissonance when it comes to my natural right to defend and protect and preserve myself from evil men. It's funny because the title of these articles, I wouldn't read them. I'm not going to read that garbage. I'm going to protect my heart. I'm going to guard my heart with all diligence. I don't read just anything. But I don't have to wonder too hard now if you know why I struggle with this cognitive dissonance, if you will, this mindset that somehow or other it is, well, like the article said, it is sin. I'm sorry for the interruptions. It is sin to protect myself. But you know, it's funny. I think they do teach this in seminary. I do. A lot of them. Not all of them. I think they do. I wouldn't know. I've never been, I never have, never will step foot in a seminary. But because I always feel that inside. To this day, I still have that sense in me that somehow or other it's wrong for me to defend myself against a false parent that abuses me or a coworker that abuses me or any human being that abuses me. Somehow or other I'm supposed to love them, forgive them, not judge them, not criticize them, let them just keep treating me like trash and move on. Right? Yeah. Do you get that sense too? Tony's here with me. Yeah. Way back in my mind. You know what I mean? Way back in the dark recesses of my brain. Because that's what I was going to say, unlike these articles I read, you know, they're a little more subtle about that message. We've been programmed with that message. I'm thinking of one pastor here in town where I live, and he's a megachurch. He got him a megachurch. This guy spent months, I'm not kidding you, every Sunday for months, am I exaggerating? Months, teaching on not to judge, do not judge. It does make you wonder. It makes, yeah. That's how I think anymore. If someone comes to me and tells me not to judge, my first thought is, okay, what are you hiding? My first thought is, my red flag goes up and says, false prophet? False messenger? Fake pastor? What's he hiding? It's a sin to preserve yourself. My God. You know, there are one-celled bacteria, one-cell organisms that you can only see with a microscope that instinctively avoid destructive situations. Every single animal in existence, from a flea to an eagle to an elephant, all of them have an instinct built in. Who put that instinct in those animals, Tony? The devil? Did the do they not know it? That's a sin? It's ridiculous. I know. I'm being absurd here. It was the Creator that put that even in that single-celled amoeba to preserve itself. That instinct is in every one of us. It was given to us by our Creator. He built that into us. Something He built into us, instilled in our hearts and souls, that self-survival instinct is a sin? Cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance. I have a few other choice words I will not use. I read this in the book of Ecclesiastes. This is chapter 6, verse 7. And please look it up. Look it up in the Amplified Classic. It reads, "All the labor of man is for self-preservation." The reason we go to work, the reason I go to work, is for self-preservation. Right? I'm not doing it for a hobby or fun or kicks. Believe me. It's for self-preservation. Is that wrong? I don't think it is, because in 2 Thessalonians I read that if anyone will not work, again, why does a man work? According to the Bible, for self-preservation. If anyone will not work, neither let him eat. That's a nice way of saying neither let him survive. Do you see where I'm going? I'm thinking of Proverbs that reads that the author of Proverbs wrote, I remember this, "Behold the ant." I remember it. He said, "Hey, look, lazy man, look, sluggard, behold the ant." Do you see how diligent that ant is? He works night and day. Why is that ant working night and day? It's for self-preservation. Where did the ant get that drive? From God? I'm going to read Colossians again. "Do not let anyone deceive you or defraud you by insisting on self-depreciation." And the gall of these false pastors and these false religious leaders to tell the victim of abuse or the target of abuse that protecting and preserving yourself is a sin. I've got news for them. According to this verse I just read, to allow someone to assume control of your soul and make a slave of you, to allow someone to endure it, that's the sin. That is the sin. Sometimes I just want to say, we've been lied to. We have been lied to. I hope this helps somebody. I can't think of anything else to say. Can you? I pray that God in heaven opens all of our eyes to these lies. I just happened to stumble on this the other day on self-preservation. I was watching a political video, which I never do, but I'm glad. I think God led me to do it. I'm watching a stupid. Politics is so dumb right now. I'm sorry, that's another topic. But I'm watching a political video, and that word, the commentator used the word self-preservation, and it just something just kind of went off in my spirit. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to look this up. I'm going to follow this lead. And I came across not just 2 or 3, many articles on the sin of self-preservation. Wow is right. I said wow. I got so mad. I mean, Tony, was I not fuming about it all day yesterday? Yeah. Poor Tony, she would bring up the weather or any other topic, and I would veer it off to this topic. I couldn't believe it. Just come right out and say it. No, we do not put up with evil. We're doing them a favor by going no contact. I'm doing you, abuser, I'm doing you a favor. Because I am protected and preserved by the Most High, and those of you watching, every single one of you are too. We are of a different realm than the narc. And I could spend a year going through all the verses in the Bible that talks about how God is our shield and protector, and I have seen it. And when God protects us, He means business. We're doing them a favor. Father, bless everyone who hears this. I pray I made some sense. Oh my God, if anyone is struggling with, and we all do, I know, but if anyone is struggling with self-depreciation and self-abasement and self-hate because they listen to these false messengers, and the church is full of them, I know I need more revelation on it. I'm asking you to give all of us a greater, deeper understanding of these things. And thank you for giving us what truth you have. Thank you so much. Everyone who watches this, I pray a blessing on them, Father. Open the eyes of their understanding and mine. Thank you.